Rabotai, we are learning a most fundamental topic, and that inyan is about Bitachon and Hashem. And the more you learn about it, the more injection that you get of it, the more your life is a completely different life. And I'll give you one example to what I'm talking about. There was a rabbi. In his town, they were getting bit by a snake. They're getting bit by a snake, and they didn't know what to do. So they went to one of the rabbis. One of the rabbis, and the rabbi, what are we gonna do? He says, "Where's the hole of the snake?" He says, "Over here." He says, "No problem. Show me where it is." They show him where it is. He puts his foot on the hole where the snake is. Snake comes along, and he bites the rabbi. He bit the rabbi, and the snake died. Snake died. Not the rabbi, the snake died. And this is the snake that's biting everybody, and everybody's dying with this snake. The rabbi took the dead snake. He put it around his, like Rabbi Yosef style, put it around his neck, walks to the Beit Midrash. You see, Rabotai, it's not the snake that kills. It's the sin that kills. You hear what's going on? The Emunah Bitachon has to be that strong that you have to understand nothing in your life you should never ever have a mishap in your life, ever. Ever. There should never anything going wrong in your life. It should always be smooth. If it ever does, start doing Heshbon HaNefesh. What happened? How do I improve? What am I supposed to be doing right now? What's the best way? Now again, this is supposed to motivate you, not to make you down. It's supposed to push you forward. If it is, then don't put yourself ever down, because this is the trick of the Yetzer Hara. He wants to make you feel down sometimes, make you feel sad sometimes. It's shtuyot. It's a joke. The fact that you're alive and you're breathing and you're healthy, this is the biggest beracha that you could ever get. The fact that you're even a Jewish person, this is the biggest beracha. This is the biggest beracha. So therefore he's telling you over here, you have to understand, Emunah Bitachon is that you must realize that it's not, it's not a snake, it's not this, it's not that, it's the avon. Right? This is the way the rabbis, they looked at all these inyanim. Now he writes over here, be careful from doing every don't do. The person stays away. Now, the best thing was when I was with my friend. My friend, this past Corona, we walked in one of the stores, and he tells me, we walked in, and what's the first thing they say? Mask. Okay, put the mask on. So we put the mask on. So my friend, he didn't put it on the whole nose. You know what I'm talking about? Like you have the mask in the nose. He put a little bit, Yani. Not over his nose, but like by the nose, where like he can still breathe from his nostrils and not cover his nose. And he did it on purpose because, it's hard for him to wear the mask. So all of a sudden, I was in the store with him, by the way. There was a lady there. She starts flipping out. One lady in the store, flipping. You're not wearing your mask. That's not the way you wear your mask. She's going crazy. My friend's looking at her and says, you are literally 20 feet away from me. You'll never catch it from me, and there's not one customer around me. What's wrong with you? He told her that in the store. She was at the end of the store. This lady customer at the end of the store. Nobody was next to my friend, and she was screaming on top of her lungs, And wherever you go in that area, mask. Then they have the big sign in front of the door, right? What does it say? Do not enter. Do not even try for a second to enter without wearing a mask. You know what I'm talking about? Do not think of coming into the store without a mask. And you have it all over the place. So my friend looks at me and says, I wish people took not doing averot as seriously as Corona. If people would, like the Pirkei Avot says, boreach min ha'avera, like ash, like there's sakana, like there's an atomic bomb. Run away from avon, like there's a fire, there's an ash. What would happen if you see a lion running after you? Imagine you see you walking in the street, you see a dog, let's say a dog fiercely running after you. He got off the chain, he got off the thing, what is it called? A pit bull? A pit bull, he's running after you. How fast would you run? You'd climb the. Did you ever, the dog ever chase you ever in your life or no? You ever get a dog chase you? How fast did you run? How fast did you run? You didn't run fast. You ran so fast. Yeah, you threw a rock at him. You probably go Majnun, right? A person dog says the avon, the avera is so bad that you would. And guess what? The avera, it affects the world. You know, you think that doesn't affect the world. I did my avera in my room. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. What does that have to do with you? And it's 100% wrong, by the way, because the Torah teaches us when a person does avera, it's like putting poison, chas v'shalom, in the world. A person does a mitzvah, he's putting perfume in the world. The whole world gets uplifted. Look at the beginning of Bezrat Hashem speaks about it. But why am I telling you that? Because also, if you look back with the corona, it's the same thing. What happened? My daughter was sitting in school, and the teacher says, she's reading an article in one of the I don't know what was, says, what happened? There was a guy in China, he ate a bat. He ate a bat, and it had corona inside the bat, and he transferred it around the whole China, and the whole China got it, and the whole world got it, and everything got it like that. Says, you might think, whoa, should we give capital punishment to the guy who ate the bat? Imagine the guy didn't eat the bat. Huh? That's it, a whole year. You know how many people died from this guy? It's a wild thing. He did one thing, and he affected the whole world. It's the same thing with mitzvot and averot. A guy does an averah, he affecting the world. You might not see it. The Gemara in Ta'anit says that back in the day, they used to take a fruit, a grain, and they would say, look how big the fruit is. How come the fruits are not the same as this? He said, because the world corrupted with their averot, so even the fruits don't grow the same. Imagine that. Imagine that. You know, a person has to have a certain amount of sunlight, a certain amount of wind, a certain amount of rain for order fruit to grow. And then it can grow awesome. It can grow amazingly. But guess what? The averah poisons so much. A person that averah puts a poison in the world that guess what? It affects the air, it affects even the fruits. And this is, a person has to understand, this is what he's telling you. He says, at the end of the day, a person shouldn't say attributed to this, to that. Attributed to the person, he has to understand that he has to have Bitachon Hashem. And guess what? If he will change his ways, it'll cure. If he changes his ways, it'll, whatever he's an ache in his, he's burning his tongue, his I don't know, whatever it is. Starts doing cheshbon hanefesh. I'm going to wash my mouth. All of a sudden, he gets healed. How did he get healed? How did he get healed? His brother was big, and he's trying to figure it out. Again, this is the lesson that we're learning here today, that a person should take advantage of what he's telling you. He's telling you that whatever Hashem is mitzvah, this is mitzvah. I told you yesterday, I'm going to finish with this, but I told you yesterday about the stories about one word of the Torah, and I always bring it out, that the Magid, the Shulchan Aruch was learning with Malach. He would learn with an angel. Imagine learning with an angel. And the angel said to him, if you would see the olamot, the worlds that you're building, just by one word of the Torah in Shamayim, you'll flip out. You'll go wild. And not only that, there's bringing down, are you allowed to say Birkat Ilanot? You know Bracha of Ilanot? We say it in Nisan. There's a whole she'elah. Are you allowed to say it on Shabbat? So according to the Kabbalah, we hold the Pi Halacha, you're allowed. But a Pi Kabbalah, no. This is why. It says because you're doing borer. You're separating. What are you separating? Separating the neshamot that's inside, the gilgulim. Like, whoa. Chavadia writes, no, you're allowed it, because if that's the case, if you're looking at a spiritual aspect to it, a person, you have to understand, you can't learn a Hidush. You can't say a Hidush of Torah on Shabbat. He says, why? He says, the Zohar brings down every Hidush that you say of Torah, you're building a world. Hashem's writing it down. You're not allowed to write on Shabbat. So therefore you see clearly, when a person does a mitzvah, he's building worlds in Shamayim. He's building worlds. Right now you're learning, right now you're hearing, right now this is what it is. You're building worlds. You might not see the worlds. You might not see. And if you look, it's brought down If you go at the end of the Masechet, it says one of the Mishnayot. I think it's Kinim. I think Masechet Kinim. Rabbi Jamal, am I right? It says La'anchil lo'ahava yesh. Which one is that? La'anchil lo'ahava yesh. Pasuk says La'anchil lo'ahava yesh. It says in the future Hashem will give. Yesh is Gematria 310. What's 310? Hashem will give 310 worlds to Kol Tzadik V'Tzadik. What does that mean, 310 worlds? I don't know exactly what that means, but imagine you get a world, you're a tzaddik, you get 310 worlds. It's not like we look at it, if I do a mitzvah, I'll get an extra car, you're getting worlds. This is the great lessons we have to have in Emunah, Bitachon, in the schar and onish, in the reward and punishment that Hashem has in store for us. Have a great day, a wonderful day, Rabotai.